Hi, I'm Joe Navarro, and welcome back to People Watching. Today, I'm going to talk about body language, nonverbal communications in long-term relationships, intimate relationships, and so forth. Body language is a big part of relationships because it is our primary means by which we communicate how we feel. It is the primary means by which we demonstrate how much we care. It is the primary means by which we demonstrate that we are trusting and trustful. It's the primary way we show how loving we are, how much love and expression of that we have, and also empathy is really all about nonverbal. So I want to unpack this because it's very easy to be in a relationship and fall back on patterns of behavior that really don't contribute to demonstrating these things, how much we care, how much we love, and so forth. And it's quite interesting, during the courtship phase, during the initial dating, we often spend an extraordinary amount of time demonstrating how much we care. We demonstrate how much we love by the things that we say, how we touch, how we hug, the frequency of how often we touch and hug and other things. So let's just go through some of the things that you may not think about, but are really actually very powerful, and that can help in relationship. Number one on the list, because in my book, What Everybody Is Saying, I started with the feet. Believe it or not, one of the best ways to demonstrate to other people that we are close to them, that we love them, and we are playful with them is with our feet. Foot touching or feet touching, intertwining of the feet. You often see this in pools. You'll see this with couples watching TV in bed and so forth. They'll bring their feet together. When we are very comfortable around other people, when we're playful, when we get along with them, our feet are often one of the easiest ways and one of the most blatant ways of demonstrating how much we care. It's interesting that when we look at relationships that are in trouble, one of the things that always stands out is how couples may walk into a therapist's office holding hands, but they won't bring their feet anywhere near each other because they're having problems at home. It's something that I've written about over and over. It's in the Dictionary of Body Language. And why is that? Well, it has to do with the fact that our feet, in part, are responsible for keeping us safe if we have to run and so forth. And when we are comfortable around each other, we'll tickle each other's feet, we'll play with their toes and do different things. So when I ask people, and believe me, I am not a therapist, I'm not a clinician, but I get these questions all the time. And I say, well, when was the last time you guys played footsies? Or when was the last time you playfully played with your feet? And they say, oh, well, we haven't done that in a while. Well, take a look at that. And that's something that you can easily and readily go back to doing. The other thing is, and it really stands out, is how we touch each other. When we first start dating, we're very caressing, our hands are warm, we tend to touch with the palmar touching, and there's more caressing, there's more cradling, more hugs, and so forth. And for whatever the reason, over time, we seemingly seem to do this less. You want to evaluate that and say, why? Why is that? Because nothing has changed. Your hands haven't changed, the arms, the neck, the face haven't changed of the other person. Your hands are full of nerve endings that collect information both on touch, pressure, and temperature. And how you touch can change how you're perceived. So maybe instead of just a brief touch, go back to that more engulfing, more pleasant, more endearing touch where your hands with the palm loiter longer on the shoulder, on the arms, on the hands, and so forth. And watch for distancing behaviors. Often when people are having difficulties in a relationship, they begin to touch each other with the fingertips, not with a palm. And, if you've evaluated your relationship and you say, well, I really love this person, watch how you touch them. Avoid the fingertips. Use, obviously, more of the hand. The other one that seemingly always jumps out, and I've heard this from so many people, and I thank you for writing me, is the tone of voice. What is the tone of voice? Does it vary? And one of the things I always hark on is that we really should change our voices. We should have that voice of, hey, welcome back. How was the drive? Where we're excited to see someone, versus just shut the door. It really makes a big difference how our voices sound. They can be embracing, they can be very welcoming, or they can be very neutral. And I always say that neutral voices might as well be negative voices, because neutral voices over time, I think, register as negative. So the tone of voice that inevitably, whether you're discussing whether toilet paper should go, over the top down or from the bottom, couples will always, things will escalate a little bit. It's the voice that can immediately begin to de-escalate. It's your voice that can say, hey, this is silly. Come on, let's back this up. The worst thing we can do is escalate by raising our voice, by being more adamant, by being more aggressive. Don't do that. Use your voice to soothe, to calm down, and to get back to that space where you both feel comfortable. So I tell couples, how many voices do you have? Do you have the voice of kindness? Do you have the voice of care? Oh, thanks for getting that for me. Or I really appreciate you, helping me out to pack. Have different voices that reward and show how much you care. And then, of course, there's the voices that we have for when we want to entice others, when we want to let them know that we've blocked out the rest of the world and that they are our primary focus. And, some people say, well, these are the voices of seduction and so forth. We need that whole group of voices, constellation of voices that we can count on to let other people know that we're interested, that we care, that we're empathetic, or that we are deeply in love with them. Speaking of caring, one of the things that I've taught for many years, and that is that we demonstrate how much we care about others by the speed at which we act. And you say, how is that body language? It's a nonverbal. We demonstrate how much we care by how quickly we react. You see somebody, they're struggling to get through the door, they've got a box or whatever, we leap out of the couch or the chair, we go over, we open the door, help them carry it in. How fast we act is demonstrative of how much we care. Now, I've seen experiments, and I think these were some of the experiments that were done by Dr. Helen Fisher, of babies as young as 11 months who reacted to individuals and even inanimate things who acted quickly but pro-socially. And the quicker we were to respond to that, the better they felt. And this is something that I tell couples, is be aware of each other's needs. If someone all of a sudden needs help, if you're sitting there watching television and you're thinking, why is he or she taking so long doing the dishes? Hello, get up and help with the dishes. Help dry them, help clean them, whatever. But we demonstrate how much we care by how quickly and how pro-socially we do these things. The other thing that I like to evaluate is when you go out, when you're walking down the street, did you know that hip distance, right? So how close we walk next to each other, that oftentimes, at least in my experience, it has been that way, and I've certainly documented it many times in my journals, that people who really are enjoying each other's company or getting along, you often see more hip-to-hip connectivity, where they're actually touching, arms around each other, or even when they're holding hands, you'll see their hips closer together. It's a great sign that they're getting along and things are well. And these are things that you can be motivated to do. And something as simple as say, come over here, let's just walk together, demonstrative of how much you care. And lastly, I would say that how we look at each other. Over the years, having many neighbors in many different neighborhoods, I've noticed how people react in marriages to things like somebody coming out and say, I thought you said you were going to clean the garage today, and I see the frowning face. I've seen people roll their eyes. It's been demonstrated scientifically that couples who react to each other by showing signs of contempt, and contempt is often displayed by the pinching of the corner of the mouth. This is the commissure of the mouth. That people who tend to do this in response to others often are in a failing relationship, and there's a high likelihood that things are not going to go well. So just be aware of your body language and how you react to other people. Listen, we're always communicating, and anytime we transmit negativity, it's going to register, and over time it can become toxic. So, word to the wise, just be aware that your body language will affect others. And if every time you're asked to do a favor, you're squinting, if every time you're asked a favor, you press your fingers on your eyes, these are self-soothing behaviors. If every time, you're rolling your eyes and so forth, eventually something's going to give. These are very negative behaviors. Some people, I've literally seen them look at the heavens and say, oh my God, not again, things like that. It's cute once. It's not cute if this is your standard response to anything that is asked of you. So be thinking about the body language that you used when you were dating. Think about the good manners, the attentiveness. Think about how long your eyes loitered on each other. Think about how you touched, how you kissed, the frequency of contact, all of that. And see if by changing just a few things, that now you're going to hold hands more often, that now you're going to, you don't have to talk, you can actually sit across from each other while you're eating and just gaze at each other, not stare, gaze, and that is a very positive thing that you can do to enhance relationships. And of course, don't ever forget your voice. Your voice is so important. So there you are, some things to think about in relationships. You probably never thought about your feet. You probably never thought about, hand gestures, that can enhance relationships. Don't forget, I didn't mention this earlier, but don't forget grooming and good manners and all that good stuff. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've learned something. I hope it's brought some ideas back into your mind as to how you can enhance relationships or view them differently. Please subscribe and please share your thoughts with us. I always try to read every comment and respond to each comment. So thank you for being with me.